So, um, for those that don't know me, my old followers that used to follow my old one, but deleted it, long story, on Twitter. Let's not go there. I'm in a cemetery. Anyone that knows me well is kind of used to me saying that. So I'm in a cemetery here in Australia. I always end up in cemeteries, honest to God. I'm looking for a grave here. A couple of famous graves here. One's a jockey, never heard of him. Not to horse racing, don't really get it. But I've got one here, if I can find him, called Paul William Moran. He should be on row 15 according to this. Paul William Moran, according to this. Let's see if we can find him. I don't know if it's here. See if we can find him. Paul William Moran. Ah, here we go. Wow, it's quite an impressive one. So this is Paul William Moran. This is a really interesting one. Anyone that's into military and stuff. Paul William Moran. Let me try and get closer to you. 3rd of May 1963 to 22nd of March 2003. Beloved father, husband, son and brother who tragically lost his life whilst on assignment in war-torn Iraq. Although he was a true resident of the world, Australia was always Paul of the world. Australia was also Paul's home and is now his final resting place. Family, friends, Ivana and Tara will never forget Paul's bravery, dedication, honesty and other amazing qualities that only the finest possess. So this guy, get you a photo of him, Paul William Moran. He's a journalist, actually killed in Iraq. Let me just try and find his story. I don't know his story. I'm just searching for something. I've passed this cemetery a few times, okay, and I just thought I'm going to pop in there because I can't remember what the name is for someone that's into cemeteries. Weird, possibly. I don't know if that. I assume that's his mother behind him. I don't know. Aged 72 years in 2003. Yeah, that's probably his mum. So anyway, he was an Australian freelance photojournalist for the Australian Broadcasting Corporation and an experienced international journalist. He was killed by a suicide car bomb at checkpoint in northeast Iraq near the border with Iran during the Iraq War. He was the first international media casualty of the Iraq War. It was one of 3 Australian cases where journalists have been killed with impunity. So he was the youngest of 4 boys, born and raised in Adelaide. In 1990 he moved to London, and it's here where he made his initial Middle East contacts. He was married to Ivana, and the couple had a daughter who was born 1 month before his death, aged 39. That's awful, isn't it? He moved to London in 1990 and made his initial contacts with Middle East people, which inspired his interest in the region. His working relationship with the Iraqi National Congress led to a high-profile international news story that purported to document a covert Iraq program to develop weapons of mass destruction prior to the Iraq War. He worked for ABC and was a cameraman in northern Iraq in his death in 2003. It said here, his group had just arrived at a checkpoint and Moran was shooting video when a car bomb exploded in a passing taxi, killing him and injuring Eric Campbell. 3 or 4 other people beside Moran died at the checkpoint, and 23 others in addition to Campbell were injured. So there we go, the first media journalist to be killed in Iraq in 2003, Paul William Moran. So I just thought it's important to get his story out there. So for anyone that was in the military in the First Gulf War, or anyone that's into military history in general, or the Iraq War, don't get me started on the weapons of mass destruction. This gentleman here, Paul William Moran, was a well-respected international journalist and the first one to be killed by a suicide bomber. So there we go.